there's not enough story.
Not if they combine in other things.
Yeah, but what?
We're gonna go across the entire Final Fantasy thing. We'll mix in a little bit of Dirge of Cerberus and
Yeah, but there's nothing
Crisis Core.
Yeah, but nothing at Calm matters except for Cloud telling them about what happens in Nibelheim. Nothing from then happens until Junior Harbor. Yeah, you go through the Mithril Mines and you can fight the snake if you want.
Well, they're just gonna make stuff up.
Yeah, but you already have stuff like you have Junior Harbor, you have the Fort Condor, you have Yuffie, because I'm telling you right now, Yuffie and Vincent should be they should be main party members.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be secret characters.
So what they'll probably do is they'll just have it that when you do the whole when you get Vincent, you'll just basically do Dirge of Cerberus with Vincent in the game, and that'll be the side part of it. That'll be his side story.
I'm telling you right now, though, next game, they should give you all the party members. Like, you should have Red, Kate Sith, Yuffie, Vincent, and Sid. You should have every party member at that game. And I honestly think they should end the game either on Eric's death or on Cloud giving Sephiroth the black material.
I mean, we don't even know if all that stuff's going to be true, since they only did a third of the first disc on this, and then.
Well, the first 2 discs hold the most story content. Disc 3 is just the final fight.
I also know the ending of this, so who knows?
I know you know the ending of this, and I know other people know the ending of this.
And it messes up a lot of things, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I've heard my one coworker's like, I don't want to get into it, but he's talking about like how Sephiroth is somewhat of a what's the word I'm looking for?
A god?
A time traveler? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because apparently he makes it sound like he lays out everything that happened in the first game, or the original, and it's like, I'm changing this, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, in essence.
Listen.
They have destroyed Sephiroth as a villain.
He's not a hero. There's nothing heroic about the things he does.
Well, there could have been an argument for it at some point, but no, not anymore. They absolutely just screwed it up because they just make him this time-traveling wizard who can solve all the fucking problems and is, in essence, a god, where once upon a time, all he really was a guy who had a big plan, who really wanted to get things done.
Yeah, and, turn the planet into a fucking convertible, and, Yeah, there's not even a point to dodging with Barret.
Yeah. But yeah, they totally found a way to screw that up with Sephiroth. And then he went from guy who had a plan, because he was talking about how humanity were kind of dickheads, which he wasn't wrong, they were kind of dickheads.
I mean, to be fair, when is humanity in any fantasy setting been considered not a dickhead?
When we're usually bitches to everything else, that's usually when we're not a dickhead. Which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, you mean the fact that humanity...
Yeah. Humanity
can only be one of 2 things?
Yeah, we're either the conquerors of fucking everything and are just, the
most evilest thing.
Yeah, the worst and most horrible thing. Or we're so back-asswards and primordial that we get looked down upon by everything. I'm looking at you, Mass Effect.
Didn't we beat the shit out of the, Garrus's race?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's right. They had to find they had to find way forward technology.
Yeah. They caught up to us, and we held them off, and that's the only thing that we did. We didn't shellac them, we didn't do anything. It basically was like a nicer version of us dealing with the Covenant and Halo.
I don't understand how they can continue Halo. I mean, I understand because Microsoft doesn't really have any first-party IPs anymore. They never really did, actually, if you look at it. Like, what are their most first parties?
Fable.
Fable, Halo, Gears, God, I'm trying to think of what else besides Gears.
Forza?
That was it?
Yeah.
They own that?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was theirs. They had something, there was basically a racing game that was theirs, and that was it.
I'm trying to think of what else then.
Nothing else, really.
No, I could have sworn there was one more.
Over time, they bought things.
Shit, what's that game that came... Crackdown. There we go. That was
Crackdown.
their...
Oh, they also had whatchamacallit? Was that Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah, because they own Rare.
Yeah.
Which is kind of upsetting because, from my understanding, they kind of squandered what Rare was.
Yeah. Although, from my understanding too, which they're not, they've already said they're not happy about the idea of it happening, and that's why they're not doing it. Microsoft said that they want to buy out, Platinum Games.
Whoa, what?
And Hideki Kamiya said, yeah, no, we're not for sale.
Yeah. That would suck.
But it also sounded kind of like a, you might not have an option.
I mean, I hope they do. I mean,
sure you could.
Isn't it up to like what? How does that work? Do shareholders decide if a company goes up for sale, or is it the?
It might be. Platinum's, it might just be the Platinum's, like shareholders and things that decide that it would be more beneficial for it to be a Microsoft-owned company than a company owned by, or run by, I guess, Kamiya himself. But
I don't think Kamiya runs the company. I just know he's one of their lead programmers.
yeah.
Those guys were all formed from ex-Capcom employees.
Yeah.
I hopefully don't, because I'm going to be dead honest with you. I have no plans to pick up whatever this Xbox, whatever's going to be called.
The Scarlet.
No,
the X series.
Yeah.
It's the Xbox Scarlet, but they haven't told us anything else about it.
There's nothing up there if I remember correctly.
Well, to be check anyway.
Well, yeah, why not? It's not like anyone's watching these anyway. No, they won't
People
let me.
will watch it. If you build it, they will come.
Is there something down here? No.
Good luck.
What?
So I said, good luck.
Oh, okay. Look, it's Stamp. Or Scamp. Yeah, Stamp.
That's a mark, so we know everything.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool that Microsoft wants to actually make first-party titles, but at the same time, what were those companies they bought? You remember them. The last roundup they did, I think, at last year's E3, they talked about...
They bought 3 of them. One of them was the guys who did the Alpha DMC.
Yeah, because they did I Am Setsuna, which apparently fucking turned the video... I don't think it turned the video game world upside down, but the fucking critics loved it.
Yeah. And then they have all those other weird ones. They bought a bunch of indie people and things like that, and... I don't know, I don't think it's going to go well.
I mean, I will say this.
Oh, they also bought Minecraft.
Actually, that wasn't a bad move on their end. I don't know. I have nothing against Phil Spencer. I think he's making good calls to try and get his company. It's just, I don't personally want them to...
Well, I think I think the Xbox Pass is probably the best thing they ever did.
That's the,
That's where
That's the streaming service, right?
Sort of. What it is you know how they have the PSN,
Yeah, the PlayStation Now?
PlayStation Plus and things like that?
Oh, okay.
What it is that...
looks like a giant sphincter.
Yeah. You basically have one account, and it ties to all your stuff. So if you're on the computer and you have Windows, you can sign in there, and then you can get the games on the computer. If you get like the Xbox, you can play the games you own there. Plus, you get free games every month, and they're not crappy games.
You know what I want to see if they'll even remotely think about doing, like Sony promised when the PlayStation 4 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they promised to have their almost entire PlayStation backlog?
When they said that they were going to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think emulation for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games are that bad, if I'm mistaken, right? I'm pretty sure...
Well, I think the issue, and this is where it comes in, you have some people who want to do it, and you have, like the one guy came out and said, he's like, yeah, it might be a thing to look into. He said, but why would you want to go back to those? He made a bunch of things that a lot of people were pissed off with. He was like, why would you want to go back to those?
I know, I think I know who you're talking about. That happened a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. And he's like, why on God's green earth would you want to go back to this? And, it's just a feature that nobody uses. I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of people would use it.
I would use it. Shit, man. There's a lot of old games you can't even play anymore unless you have physical copies of them. Really? And physical copies are expensive, and that's if you also have the frickin', system to play it. I can't.
And it can work.
Yeah, let's be honest. I don't think I could probably find myself a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2.
Well, that's what whatchamacallit,
Our mutual friend.
Our mutual friend. He found his PSP. He found...
Damn, that's old.
Yeah, he found his PSP, and he also found whatchamacallit, his PlayStation 2. And he got that working again, if he can get it working on the TV. He got the actual system itself working.
River.
I'm trying to think of what the other one was. Oh, his PSP, he found the issues with it is, the one part is just entirely broken. Just from, like, gripping it too hard.
Whoa!
But he's like, if he can get that working again, he's like, I can play fucking Tactic Ogre again, and I can play this, and I can play that.
I will say this, there are a bunch of... I was about to say, gamer, are we really going to take this long to summon the Cactuar?
You're damn right.
I mean, there's a lot of PlayStation 1 games I'd love to play on my PlayStation 4, even if they were just remasters.
Oh, there's ones that I'm
going to be dead honest, like, is it hard to make a remaster of a PlayStation 1 game?
It depends. Are you talking about just upscaling the graphics?
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about. Like, I'm not... Listen, if I'm asking for a remaster, I'm just asking for upscaled graphics.
Some of them, probably, because...
Well, yeah, it also depends, I
You're
guess.
talking about older archetypes that would have to
right.
fit onto newer systems, so they would have to run it... The consoles themselves would have to run emulations on it, so that would be a problem. The other half of it is I would rather a remake.
Yeah, but...
Because, and here's why, when you upscale things, they're not meant for those things, and it can fuck up the game entirely.
Yeah, you're right. I know that, I think, it's because of the solid-state drives, that certain PlayStation 4 games might, actually have trouble because they'll be running too fast for what they were originally, programmed to handle, apparently, or at least that's something I heard.
What is it? There's one of the older games, and playing it on the PC and having it upscaled is impossible to play it because it screws up the timing on everything.
Yeah, that's what people were talking about.
Because in its older days, they did not have as many frames in it, so it was a little bit, could be a little bit more forgiving. But because you now have 60 frames per second, it's unforgivable.
Yeah, because now it's actually running faster.
Yeah, and now you're hitting, you need to hit this in an instant instead of, the actual timing.
I like Legends of Dragoon, but I don't think that would do well in a 60 frames per second in its combat system, only because some of those, I know our mutual friend can do probably almost all the combos in his sleep, but, I would consider him a bigger fan than I am of those games. The only reason I'm a fan of Legend of Dragoon is because it was one of the first RPGs I ever played and bought. And here's a fun fact, I've still never beaten it.
Go ahead.
I have a file on my PlayStation 3, literally where I think I'm well past the halfway point of the game.
I think there's only, 2 of the higher ends that he can't do. And he said that. The lower end ones, because he also said, those are that also screws him up. To hit the timing, he said, because the timing's off.
Yeah.
Because when he would do it on the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 1, he could get it perfectly. He said, but when he put it onto the PlayStation 3, the timing is all different. He's like, I can't fucking do it.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is
yeah, because he could.
Because Legends of Dragoon, if it was ever a remake, unless they account for the combat system to be at 60 FPS, in which that case.
Well, yeah.
But
Well, knowing them, they'd make it into something like this, an action RPG instead of time or turn-based.
Which I'm gonna be honest, I would be okay with an action RPG Legends of Dragoon because honestly, I think the Dragoon aspect of the game would be interesting to see how they'd implement that. Getting your superpowers and all that. But that also being said, if they ever wanted to just do, a remaster of the game, I think that'd be fine. But if they did a remaster, I'd honestly say don't upscale to 60 or anything. Keep that shit at 30 frames per second because.
They probably won't keep that though. They'll upscale it way too hard. I don't know why on some of them they can't just give us the same game just upscale the graphics.
Oh, thank God that didn't hurt my teammates.
I mean, I get where some people are coming on that. They're like, but you need this and you need this. But
oh, God.
I don't think you do.
I mean, I agree with Maximilian on the remake. If I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII the way it is, I can just pop it on my PlayStation 4 and play Final Fantasy VII. I want the remake because I'll be dead honest. I want to see what this game can look like and be like in a current video game environment, you know?
Yeah, but I think that the charm to it is the gameplay itself.
Well, yeah. Oh, you mean 7?
Yeah, I mean, I think the systems that were originally in there is what got most people involved.
I would say 7 was probably more sold on maybe its combat, but I dare say it was sold more on its characters and its world, because these are the next to, I think, Final Fantasy 6 and maybe 10. These are some of the most iconic characters in the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, most people know who Cloud is, who Tifa is, who Barret is, who Cid, Aerith, all these characters are.
Yeah, but I think that's just because it got so overplayed.
I mean, to be fair, I love Final Fantasy VII. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, hey, you should love it. You should love it. I can respect the fact that, you know, you never played it. You probably weren't interested in playing it, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, no, let me be honest here. Once upon a time, I was interested in playing it. And much like every single one of them, whether it's Death Note, whether it's Final Fantasy VII, whether it's Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, I don't ever put Final Fantasy in the same league
No,
as Death Note.
it's in the same category. All of the fans of these things are the most obnoxious jackasses on the face of the planet.
Then let's just say the fans.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, because I thought you were comparing.
They're all in the same category because they could have good quality, they could be amazing, but because of their fans, I will never enjoy them because I will be holding them to a statue that they can never actually reach.
That's fair, and to be also fair on that, it's also a matter of the people like me who played these games when we were kids. We did it because, you know, that's what we loved about them. We played them for those reasons, and as we got older, you know how nostalgia is. You latch on to things you love, and you remember them fondly. But I can also sit here and say, like, you know, I can honestly say, like, if you don't like Final Fantasy VII, that's fine. I don't need... It would be cool if you liked it, but our friendship isn't going to end over the fact that you don't like 7. You like games that I don't like, and I still hang out with you. I like games that you don't like, and you still hang out with me. That's something I never got with, is like, you know, you can't let people like the things they like, and you don't go around bashing these games. You don't go on, like, forums and everything, and, well, you probably do now.
I do, because I like just setting the people off sometimes.
I know you do.
Because sometimes it's pure distilled just spurgery sometimes on these things.
No, trust me, I understand.
And they
maybe
don't...
it's just because I don't know, maybe I'm not the typical fan, but I don't know. I go with the mentality of, like, you know, you like what you like, and I like what I like, and I can sit here and agree with you on, you know, certain things. I can probably say I don't like about Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Well, yeah, because I think you got more of a healthy way to look at it as opposed to what I think a lot of people have, which is an unhealthy way to look at these games, which is that they're perfect or this, that, and the other. The thing that usually sets me off, and I've told people this, I was like, do not say words incorrectly. If you say the game is objectively the best game in the world...
See, like that auto-cure off. Yeah. I have to have that on someone else, but not me, to get someone to heal me. And I'm sorry.
That's annoying. Why wouldn't you just have a regular?
Like, why couldn't that be like a skill or something? And look at this. I'd have to upgrade Barrett's stuff to. Can I do that? I might just do that. Sorry, guys. I'm probably gonna do that.
But no, that's the thing that drives me nuts is when people will say things like it's objectively. It's like, no, it's subjectively the best. Objectively would mean, like, we could have a discussion and we'd have to show why these things work or why they're the best without looking at it from, you know, another position or point. Why, if you removed even just the story or the love that people have for it, it's a still good thing. And that's usually where, like, I get annoyed with people on that stuff.
I don't know. I guess as I got older, I just realized, like, you know, there's no reason for me to be that kind of fan, because I just realized I was like, you know, if you like what you like, that's fine. If you don't force it on me, I'm not going to force it on you. That's all I care about, is like, End of the day is if you have fun and you can be respectful, then I feel like that's all you really need to worry about.
Oh, I don't mind that.
But I agree with you. People, it's kind of like, it's
especially worse when it's popular. Like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, stuff like that.
People like Attack on Titan's the greatest thing on the face of the planet. It's like, it's okay.
Like when I mess with our other friend, and he talks about Soul Eater. I don't hate Soul Eater. I just do it because I know it pisses him off, and I'm just like,
that's why I do the things I do, because I'm like, I know that people don't want to respect other people's opinions and say, oh, you have a taste, you might not like this, but instead they'll be like, no, you have to like this. It's like, no, I don't have to like anything. I don't want to like it. I don't want to like it.
No, and I agree, because one of my favorite YouTubers on Video Games, Matt Simmons, he made a good argument a long time ago in one of his early videos, and he was talking about, don't be a fanboy, be a fan. And he was like, fanboys are, fanatics who will defend their piece of, their stuff and not care about if it's bad, if it's good, won't look at it, like objectively. They'll just be like, no, this is the greatest thing ever, and how dare you not like it. And I've always been like, I can respect that you love this game. I can entirely respect that it did something for you when you were younger or something. Like, that's something I can be like, you know what, I respect you for that. But I also get the feeling like, most people don't want to share that level of respect with each other.
Oh, no, they don't.